my dad's estate and basically making his will useless? I, 48M, have helped my father keep his business afloat for years. I didn't mind. His support when I was young is the only reason I'm financially where I am today. I was able to graduate debt-free and start my own business straight out of university. My stepmother, on the other hand, was never my biggest fan. She thought I should have done more for her and her sons. I was already out of the house when my father married her, so I never felt like I owed her anything, much less her useless kids. Both of my stepbrothers ended up working for my dad's company, but they're useless. They spent most of their time servicing clients, taking them to lunch, golfing, and things like that. My dad needed help a few times, and rather than let him go under or go to a bank, I gave him loans at a very low interest rate. That way, if he couldn't pay me back, I could write them off as bad debt and take a tax deduction. I now know that he never mentioned the loans to her or her kids, and when I say kids, I mean men in their 30s. My dad got sick 2 years ago, and my stepbrothers actually had to work. By then the company was pretty solid, and they couldn't screw it up too badly. My dad and his accountant were still in day-to-day control, he just couldn't go into the office. 6 months ago, my father rewrote his will. He left everything to my stepmother and stepbrothers. I was left token sentimental gifts. I don't need the money, but I could smell the bullshit. So I sold my loans to one of my father's business competitors, with the provision that I would personally make the payments until my dad passed away. Basically, they'd get the company when my dad died, and I'd get my money back. I was happy with that. When my dad passed, I took my items from his estate, just photo albums and things like that. My stepmother got the house and a retirement fund, and the three of them got the company. After they figured out how much my dad owed me, they came to me about the loans. They wanted to keep the same arrangement, 1% interest and very lax repayment terms. I told them I had already divested myself of any involvement with my dad's company and that they now had to deal with a different creditor, one who would likely want to collect in full or renegotiate. They think I'm an asshole for saddling them with debt instead of the solvent cash cow they thought they were getting. But it's still a viable company, and they can go to a bank and get a loan to pay it off themselves. Plenty of good companies operate with debt. Also, I think I exaggerated in the title. I didn't empty out the estate. My stepmother has enough money to last her for the rest of her life, unless she spends it foolishly on herself and her sons. And my stepbrothers now share ownership of a solid company with an excellent accountant. If they actually decide to work, it could support them and their families indefinitely. So, am I the asshole?